For example 2, we will be going through each of the steps together. Our first step tells us to read the equation and to label the equation. Let's do that together. Our equation says blank minus 315 equals 545. So this equation is already telling us that this number minus 315 is going to give us 545. So this number is going to be our big number, because if we can subtract 315 from that number and still get 545, this is a pretty big number. So let us go ahead and write whole number under that. And both of these are our known parts, so we can just put part and part, because we know both of those parts. So if we know two of the parts and we're looking for a whole, this is going to be an addition equation. Once we have labeled our equation, we are ready for step 2, which is create an equation to find the number in the blank. We know that our number in the blank is going to be our whole number. So our whole number equation will look like this. Part plus part equals whole. So we know our part information. Let's go ahead and fill that in. We have 315 for one of our parts, and then we have 545 for the other parts, and we are still looking for that whole number, so let's just write a blank there. And now that we have created our equation, we are ready to solve this equation using flat sticks and dots. Please take a moment to create your flat sticks and dots chart, and when we come back, we will add these two parts together. Once you have created your flat sticks and dots chart, you are ready to add the equation that we just created into our chart. So what can we do? Well, we can start with adding one of the parts to our chart, because when we are using addition in our flat sticks and dots chart, we have to put both of the parts in there to find our whole number. So take a moment to put your hundreds, tens, and ones from 545 part into your flat sticks and dots chart. When we have added our 545 part to our flat sticks and dots chart, it will look like this. Now, this is an addition equation, so we will be adding the other part to our chart as well. Take a moment to add 3 hundreds, 1 10, and 5 ones to our chart to represent our other part. Our other part is represented in our chart with 3 flats, 1 10, and 5 ones. And now we are ready to add our parts together. So let's go ahead and count. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Wow, we have 10 ones there. So that means that we are going to regroup those 10 ones, and we are going to put them to our tens. And we can just draw an arrow there and make another 10, and we'll put an O inside of it to represent where it came from. And after we have added that 10 from the ones, we can cross these out, because we have already moved them to where they need to be. And then we write what's left over in our ones. Nothing. So we write a 0, because a 0 is left over for the ones. And now we're ready to count the tens. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 tens, and we say that number as 60. Very good. Now we're ready to move over to the hundreds. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We call that number 800. Very good. So now we can say that our whole number equals 860. 0 ones. So that number is 860. And now After we have finished step 3, we are ready to do step 4, which is check our answer with a number line. When we come back, we will have our number line ready to go so that we can check our answer. When we have a number line for addition, we still hope to find our whole number on this side, one of our parts on this side, and another one of our parts will be representing our jumps. But when we are doing addition and we have 2 known parts, then we are going to start from our larger known part and we're going to hop using hundreds, tens, and ones all the way to our whole number. So let's get started. When we begin our jumps, the very first number we'll add is 300 because in our known part we have a 3 in the hundreds place, so we'll start there. 300 plus 545 should only change our hundreds place value, so we should see the 4 and the 5 in our numbers stay the same and our hundreds place value change to an 8 because we've added 3 to the 500s place value and we got 8. So we're done with that part. Let's move on to the tens. When we are adding in the tens place value, we should not expect any change at all in the ones place. The only thing that we should expect to change when we're adding one of the tens to 845 is the tens place value. Because when we add one of the tens to 845, the hundreds place value won't change and the ones place value will stay the same. So the only place value to change will be the tens and it'll go up 110 to 855. Now we're ready to add our last place value with the ones. The ones place value has a 5, so we'll add a 5. And 5 plus 5 will give us a 0 on the end and a ones place or a tens place value change to a 6 and the hundreds place value will stay the same. So once we have added our ones place value, we should have arrived at our whole number of 860, and that does equal the same number that we found in our flat sticks and dots chart. So we are able to fill in our blanks with 860. Awesome job, guys. So we're ready to move on to our third example. Our third example is 601 minus blank equals 231. So we are ready to use all 4 of these steps to solve our third example all on our own. Make sure you are labeling your equation, creating an equation to find the number that is in the blank. Use your flat sticks and dots to solve, and then check your answer with a numbered line. When we return, we will compare and share our answers. Go ahead and give yourself 1 minute to solve. Pause the video here. Our answer to our third example should have came out to be 370. If you did not get this answer, make sure that you have made the equation that will help us find our missing part, and you have properly regrouped and filled in your flat sticks and dots chart, and also your number line has to represent the equation for your missing part as well. Make sure you have properly represented on your number line as well. Also, do not forget to add your numbers to your missing blanks, the blanks in your equation, because that is how you completely answer whenever you see questions with blanks like this. So, if you got this correct, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. And if you are working to get the correct answer, give yourself a pat on the back. Way to go. So we're going to move on to our fourth example. It says blank plus 462 equals 816. Go ahead and solve this equation all on your own using our 4 steps. And when we come back, we will share and compare. Give yourself 1 minute to solve. Pause the video here. The correct answer for number 4 would have came out to be 354. And if you did not get this answer, make sure you do have the correct missing part equation represented in your flat sticks and dots chart. Make sure that you have properly regrouped in your flat sticks and dots chart. And on your number line, make sure that you have your whole number on the right side because it's the biggest, your known part as the things that you are subtracting from your whole number to find your missing part. All right, guys, give yourself a pat on the back for making it all the way through your instructional video this week. Please be on the lookout for your weekly newsletter. It will have the extended practice for this week's lesson. I look forward to receiving all of your work. Please be confident on your work and don't be afraid to make a mistake, because when you make a mistake, you learn from that mistake. So there's nothing wrong with that. I look forward to seeing you guys at Touch Base Tuesday and Wise Champion Wednesday. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later.